Well, obviously a tough time for the Raven Nation right now after a disappointing loss. We all expected obviously a much better game, but I think they ought to take heart in the fact that this is still a very good football team, and you hit a buzzsaw. You just hit a great team, a Patrick Mahomes, a quarterback that's playing at the absolute top of his game. Clearly, there's going to be things that you have to address going forward. And mainly, it comes down, if you're going to beat the Ravens, it's the trifecta of one, you can't give up the big play. So you're going to have to configure your secondary so you don't get Marquise Brown or Mark Andrews in behind it. You've got to get pressure on Lamar Jackson, but keep him in the pocket. Don't let him outside, which means a 5 and 6 man rush. And then once you do those two things, then also offensively, you have to be good enough to chew up the clock, win the time of possession, which is very hard against the Ravens. And obviously, when you get in the red zone, convert touchdowns instead of field goals. And that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs did. Let's look at the film a little bit in terms of defensively, what Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, did to maintain Lamar in the pocket. First, it begins with the 5-man rush. And you're going to see here, as they bring on the 5-man rush, they maintain on the outside. And most importantly, in the middle of the rush, they fold back to the inside to make sure that Lamar doesn't just step up into the pocket and take off. They force him to throw from there. They don't give him the deep route and make him convert in the intermediate area. The next way you can see, again, it's a different 6-man rush. They almost lose contain. In fact, the end comes down a little bit flat. Lamar gets to the outside, but watch the pursuit angle of the defensive end and the linebacker. It's very flat. It's very much in mind that, okay, we're not going to let you up the field. You're going to have to get this thing thrown before you get out of bounds, and the timing of it just doesn't work for Lamar, and he ends up throwing a high and late pass that doesn't convert. And then finally, here in the red zone, again, an excellent package. Obviously, there's only so much room to move around. Again, they bring a different 5-man pressure, but watch what they do. They maintain the outside edge, but in the middle, they have 2 spies that fall off to make sure that they're going to try to make sure Lamar doesn't step up again and scramble into the end zone like we've seen so many times. And with that reduced area on the back end, not give him a lot of holes to throw the ball. So it was an outstanding defensive plan. I think going forward, the Raven fans, they know, okay, yes, it's an evolution that they're going through. There's not going to be too many teams that can put all these combinations together and the offense to beat the Ravens. As you look at the games coming up, you got a healthy stretch here between at Washington, which is like a home game, Cincinnati, and at Philadelphia. Again, almost like a home game. So it's almost like being at home for 3 straight weeks against teams that they should match up very well with. I think they have a chance to get really healthy over the next 3 weeks before they have to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talking about offensive side of the ball, I've got a book coming out this week called The Q Factor. It's about the 2018 draft that includes Lamar, what it says about us as a league, the process we use in evaluating these quarterbacks by way of the 5 quarterbacks taken in the 2018 draft. Pick it up at your bookstore or order it online. You'll enjoy the read.